Welcome to Smackdown 900, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to admit that the Go Home show, I wasn't sure was going to be that good. And it was. They nailed this show. Smackdown 900 was nailed. I think I might use that for my title. I'll say this, there were only a few things in this show I really didn't care that much about. Let's start with one of them. The 16-man tag. It wasn't bad. And it was great to see that people love Rhino and definitely love Heath Slater. But something was a little strange. I thought the Usos were heels. But by the time this match was over and American Alpha was the one who won it, and I believe it was not Jason Jordan. I think it was Chad Gable. He was the one who did the pin. What happened to the Usos? Are they now heels? Or was that a little spurt of facehood and then they go back to heels? I'm not exactly sure. Because once they did that dive off of the top ring rope onto everybody, you wonder, did they turn face? Because they don't do that anymore. They're not supposed to. They're heels. But this was supposed to be a tag team. It's supposed to be all together. I guess that was there. If this was something that Raw had come into bothering them, then I would understand it. But with SmackDown guys who would now become faces on there compared to SmackDown guys who became heels. Who were the heels, actually. Except the Usos are not supposed to be heels. Anyway, I wasn't really caring that much about the match, but it was okay. The match that I was admittedly surprised about, but I'm not unhappy about it because by my point of view, I was surprised, but I'm not completely surprised. I was surprised in the respect between Dolph Ziggler as The Miz, not as The Miz, The Miz. You see the reason I'm a little upset about this? It's not that I'm angry that Dolph Ziggler lost. It was the fact that Dolph Ziggler was put in this position in the first place. And this was all for nothing. Because I know there's a lot of Dolph Ziggler fans out there. I'm not against Dolph Ziggler. I'm not against Nick Theodore. If I remember his last name right, finally. The problem is this. Nick has been there for many years. They had chances to truly push him and let him be in the main title and to do something. And if the people didn't care about him, they could have thrown him down and no one would have any questions. There would be no controversy. But they've never done it. And all this time, everybody, from what I can tell from other videos I've watched, people really believe that Dolph Ziggler is something. And there are also people who think he's a piece of shit and he should leave and die. I believe he should leave and go to TNA. It's time. Dolph needs to go. Because when it comes down to it, if the guys in the back did not believe that Dolph was strong enough to actually go up against Sami Zayn. I'm using the name Zane. I see Sami Zayn. I should get the name right. Look, Dolph was not believed in going into this pay-per-view. If he was, The Miz wouldn't have won. And that's the truth. It does not matter if you got face versus face at a signature pay-per-view. This is one brand versus the other. Face doesn't make a difference. The brand of Steph is up against the brand of Shane. And that's all that matters. But unfortunately, they didn't believe in that. So that's the reason why Dolph lost. And we're done. So we have to accept that. Now, Nikki Bella versus Carmella. I really felt they had something very interesting with Carmella and Nikki Bella. But they let Nikki beat her ass already. Then beat her up again. Even when Carmella had some really good heat, they just let her win. They could have done something special at Survivor Series with Nikki and Carmella. Or at least going into TLC. They could have done something really good with them. But it is what it is. So when it came down to it, the surprise of the night, it wasn't the guys of Raw coming to SmackDown. It was the ladies of Raw going to SmackDown, which I felt was a much better thing. I'm glad no men from SmackDown came. I'm glad it was all women that came. Nia Jax acted dominant until she went into the retaining wall and busted her ass. That is a big woman that will destroy you. I don't care if you're a guy or a girl. She is athletic. She's large enough to knock your ass out. So It was a good thing that actually happened. It shows her size and strength. Oh, I truly wish that Tamina was back. And Tamina is a relative of Nia Jax. I don't know what's going on with Tamina. Maybe she's still hurt. Maybe she just said, you know what, I don't want to go on the WWE for a while. I just don't want to go back. Or they have not renewed her contract and she can't come back. I just wish Tamina was there. The only woman in the record books that has the proper size next to, may she rest in peace, a China, is Tamina. She was the most athletic woman you could see. She was perfect, but they never did anything with her. She would be perfect to go up against Nia Jax. Perfect! But we don't have that. But there was something perfect. Oh, if nobody didn't notice, Brittany, I know you're still... Look, I spoke to Brittany Johnson earlier. And she's over this. She's done. She wants to see what's going to happen with Amber Moon when she comes onto the roster. Hopefully she will be treated better. To be honest, I don't know. I'm still waiting until next year to think about what's going to happen with Naomi. If they finally do something in 2017 with her, I will not say for her to leave. But for me personally, what just happened in this Raw, she was the one who stole the show because she was the one who didn't just knock out. Oh, yeah, she took all the women out. She took them out. She took out the Boss. She took out Alicia Fox. She took out... Oh, man. She took out the two women that we know is about to battle one another. It's going to be Bayley and Charlotte. She took them all out. She floored them. And she was the one who looked the best out of all of them. I'm sorry, she just did. I'm hoping that by TLC, she will finally get something started. People want her. But they just don't give it to us. And it pisses me off. Now... King Booker was the one who did an inspiration to the men in the tag teams. I could have said this before I talked about the 6-man tag. I didn't want to. King Booker is the one I want to talk about because since I am doing reality wrestling reviews, excuse me, congestion. I am doing reality wrestling reviews and King Booker is in my intro. He has to be presented. He's the most inspirational man on that roster. We got something going on, particularly that Breezango, who is the fashion police, got their shirts snotted on, and he said, "You're not serious. You didn't just do that. You're not serious. I'm King Booker. Get the hell out of here, sucker!" That is King Booker. That is the man I love, and I'm glad to see that he did an appearance. But to be honest, I want to see him back in reality wrestling. He needs to be shown on the show more often because they really need something extra on the show. But that will be for next week's episode after you saw this episode of BCW3 special. I will leave a link below if you guys want to see it, if you didn't see it yet. When it came to that, I loved it. Now, there's only one last thing to talk about, and it was the cutting edge. You guys tell me, did Edge look like he was a freaking lumberjack? What the fuck? He grew his hair out. He grew out his beard. He looked like a fucking Grizzly Adams. If you guys don't know who Grizzly Adams is, go Google Grizzly Adams. He's a guy who lived up in maybe in the Adirondack, the color, I can't pronounce the place, somewhere beyond the Niagara Falls. He lived with bears. He lived in a shack, and he just looked like a freaking lumberjack that would take your head off. And that's what Edge looks like. Shame he can't wrestle no more because that's a good look for him. Everyone came out. That is Team Smackdown. 5-on-5 elimination match players are there. He basically ignored AJ Styles and went straight to Randy Orton, which is understandable because Team Rated RKO was very popular. But the person who stole the show was The Undertaker. He says he's home, back on SmackDown. The question's going to be how long will he be there? Will he stay there until WrestleMania? This is what I oppose to all of you. Please tell me below what you wish. Do you wish The Undertaker to do one last run, sticking on SmackDown into this WrestleMania 33. Or was it WrestleMania 34? Sorry, WrestleMania 34, I believe this is. I can't even remember which one it is. But essentially speaking, insist, ladies and gentlemen, do you believe he's going to do one more run going up to there? That is November, going December, January, February, March, April. That's 6 straight months of Undertaker. That's what we truly need for something special coming into this WrestleMania. I think I may actually do a special debate of the week about who she should be going up against. Watch for it after this. But he's the one who stole the show. He just made it special, particularly saying, you guys have nothing to fear but me. When? He also said, the best commissioner for Smackdown is a man that has no fear, which the people loved. And finally, as I said before, Smackdown is my home. I'm going nowhere. This is Smackdown 900. They nailed it. Was it absolutely spectacular? No, but it was a good show that was well above average. You guys have a good day. Have a good night.